Alright, they asking for the queen. I'm a bad bitch, she's a savage. Look back while I twerk. No comparison.
What's up, guys? It's Ray and I'm back with another video, and today we are doing another reaction video. This is the singer. This singer exposed the music industry by Blackie Speaks, and this is mainly obviously about Money Long. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I know he's probably gonna be talking about how she's talking about, you know, the stuff that she's written for people, how they've taken her songs from her. I've seen like a number of people kind of talk about this because she was posting these videos I think in like December. And I follow her. I used to follow her on TikTok. I don't know if she still has her page or not, but I'm also not as active on TikTok as I used to be. And she would always talk about, you know, like what she's written, stuff she's written for. And I feel like whenever she talks on these like podcasts, like on the Tank podcast she was on, she kind of always will talk about things that have happened. I feel like now people are starting to actually like pay attention to her and care about what she's actually saying.
Now I want to talk about a recent story involving a popular singer who decided to expose some things behind the scenes in the music industry. Priscilla Renee Hamilton, professionally known as Money Long, is a 36-year-old
That hair eats.
Singer from Gifford, Florida. She got her start in the music industry as
Florida, hey, okay.
a songwriter, penning hits for major artists before transitioning into a successful solo career. I first became aware of Money Long when she dropped the R&B hit Hours and Hours. The song released in late 2021, and it became a massive success, peaking at number 16 on the Billboard charts in early 2022. While Money Long is a highly talented singer, her contributions as a songwriter have made an even bigger impact on the music industry. I'll dive deeper into her impressive track record later in the video, but for now, let's focus on something she recently revealed. In a video posted to her Instagram account, Money Long shared a story about Atlantic Records, one of the biggest major labels in the music industry, asking her to write a soulful song for a non-black artist. She turned down a request, making it clear she wasn't comfortable with the situation. To further emphasize her stance, Money Long opened up about this through a post on her Instagram. In the post,
I think another reason that a lot more people like care about this, not just because she's becoming more popular, I feel like it's also because right now I feel like it's a lot of high-end like race stuff happening. And I feel like even though people, especially songwriters, musicians, talk about this all the time, how they don't want us, they want us packaged like that. I think with her talking about this and the like climate right now, I feel like that's also why, yeah, like, people are caring more now.
post, she attached a soundbite of rapper Boosie saying, "Hell no, I'm not."
Because I feel like it was like a while ago, but I feel like I've heard her even talk about this whole thing with this song. I feel like it's more so like the way she's talking about it now. The climate, the way, like the wording that she's using, like in this example that he's bringing up, how it's the, oh, me to the to present, like, oh, because you want, you know, white people to have songs with more soul and da-da-da, but you don't want a black person to do it. And it's like a white person isn't going to give you that soul. I mean, I feel like there are obviously white artists who are soulful and have that like passion and can like really give it to you the way that a black person can, but a lot of them don't, but they want it to seem like it. And I feel like that's just something that I kind of am picking up on.
"No, I'm not doing that," paired with a video of herself lip syncing to the audio, and this was as a way to mock the request Atlantic Records made to her. In this response, she not only addressed the issue publicly, but also showcased her frustration in a lighthearted yet impactful way. In the actual caption of her Instagram post, Money Long shared more details by saying, "And when I said no, one of them said, you can reach in that Priscilla Renee vault and see what you have in there." So Atlantic Records, who made this request to her to write this soulful song for this non-black artist, said, "You can reach into this vault of all the music that she has, right? She's made throughout the years, and you can give us one of those songs from that vault." That's what she's saying, right? She responded sharply saying, "Boy, do you know what a vault is? That's where you keep the valuables. Facts. If you don't get somewhere and sit down." She also added, "I wanted to cuss them out so bad, y'all." Despite the significance of this story, it didn't get as much attention as I thought it deserved, which is why I wanted to address it here. While the video did make its rounds online, which I'm going to show you the video in a second, Money Long was mostly praised for standing her ground. However, some questioned her decision to bring the issue to the public, which led to her releasing a follow-up video where she exposed even more things about the industry and some of her experiences. Now, I think most people are familiar with the song Timber by...
Now, with that comment that they're talking about, oh, you know, she's trying everything she can to be blackballed, I feel like if she was saying this stuff before she was Money Long and we knew her and know her music, and clearly her pen, her talent will speak for itself, every single thing she drops is a banger. I feel like if she was doing this and promoting this stuff when when we didn't know who she was, or before, when she was still Priscilla Renee, then sure, right? Then sure. But I feel like now, with her having, you know, her, like, with us knowing who she is now, I feel like that's not really a thing. And especially because Black people, we be sticking together. Especially with her, you can't deny the talent. You can't deny it. And I feel like, yeah, that's what's helping her, and that's why she's able to talk about these things. And even whenever she, you know, talks about these experiences, there's stuff that happens to her. I don't necessarily have to tell you, you know, all these things. Like, I don't know if she made the comment, I believe she did, where she said, you know, I don't even think she's necessarily blaming Kesha, right? Like, Kesha's just there. She's a singer. Singers get songs written for them all the time that they're asked to sing. It was like, now she did kind of call out her mom for trying to take publishing credit, but also it's like, I'm not blaming Kesha. Obviously, I'm not blaming Britney Spears. I'm not blaming these people for doing what the label's telling them to do. That's their job. I'm blaming the executive, the people who actually make the decisions to do this. And yeah.
By Pitbull featuring Kesha. It's arguably one of the most recognizable dance/pop tracks of this past.
And I'm from Miami, so the first time I heard this song, I loved it immediately. And then this is like one of the main songs that they use for like the heat and the promo and stuff like that. I feel like this became one of their songs, I think, like the next year or that same year that it came out. So I love this song. So it's like, and with Kesha being on it, I think it sounds great. You know, I think it sounds great with Pitbull on it. But when I heard her explain how it was supposed to be a Flo Rida song, actually, and it's like, okay, I can see that too. And then it's like, it was supposed to be more soulful. I kind of want to know what it should sound like. A more soulful country rap song. Interesting. I would like to hear that. And I wonder who she would have wanted on the song. I think she said it was supposed to be hers, or she wrote it to be more soulful. I wonder how it would sound. Especially with her on it, I think it would honestly sound great. I think it would sound great because Money Long can sing, and she can sing so differently and diversely. But I wonder if like another Black person was to get on the song. I low key could see Tanner Adele on this song. And I know Flo Rida, I mean, I haven't heard from Flo Rida since he won the lawsuit from Vitamin Water. But I mean, I'm cool with Flo Rida, obviously, you know, I'm from here. But to be honest, we should, if it's supposed to be a country song, a Black country song, a Black modern hip hoppy dance country song with some Blacks, let's call Nelly. Let's call Nelly. Let's see if you can, you know, knock the dust off. Let's get Nelly in there, and then let's get Tanner Odell in there. Just saying. Would love to see it.
Past decade. I'd be genuinely surprised if you haven't heard it. The song, released in October 2013, became a massive hit, topping the charts for 3 weeks in 2014. To put its impact into perspective, the music video currently has over 1.5 billion views on YouTube. Now, what many people might not know is that the hook, post-chorus, and bridge of Timber, the parts that made the song so iconic, were actually written by Money Long. Her songwriting is the backbone of the song's success and one of the key reasons why it remains so memorable today. Now, according to Money Long, she wasn't paid a single cent upfront for her work on Timber. Typically, songwriters receive an upfront fee for participating in studio sessions where they collaborate with other artists and contribute to a track. This fee is separate from the royalties they earn from the song's success. To this day, even after the song's release and massive success, she claims she never received that upfront payment. Money Long also shared the story of how Timber came to fruition. She attended a studio session where she came up with the concept and lyrics for the song. Two industry professionals present at the session were so impressed with the track that they expressed interest in sending it to rapper Flo Rida, who it turns out is Money Long's cousin, which is crazy. After the session, she left, and a couple weeks later, she...
Honestly, all us related.
We received a call.
About 2 weeks before the song gets ready to come out, they hit me up saying, hey, Ben, I'm not gonna say your last name, Ben, who used to work at Atlantic, calls me and says, hey, we need you to come cut some vocals. What does that mean? In my mind, you need my voice on the song. Cool. They still haven't said anything. So I go and I'm hearing somebody else's vocals on my song. I'm like, what is this? I'm hearing this part. Woo. When I wrote it, I said, whoa, where the woo came from. They're like, oh, well, you know, she couldn't sing it like you. So we had her change it to woo. And now we want you to go in.
And you know that's white girl's favorite thing. Woo! Woo! Yeah! Head flip. Woo! You know that's their favorite. Where is Kesha from? Cause, you know what, whatever.
And sing the woo underneath her. Because your vocals are underneath her on the hook, on the whole song. And so if you don't sing the woo, it's gonna sound different. And we need to have the same feel. That's the problem that I have. You want it to feel a certain way, but you want it to look that way, but you want it to feel this way. Nah, player. I didn't get paid, among other things on the business side that just were not handled properly. Not to mention, later on, there's a copyright claim on the song. Said artist's mother was trying to get publishing on the song, and she didn't write it. Not one word. Yeah, song came out. The rest is history. The only reason why I was even in the studio, because my Karen bought me flowers and sent me on vacation, because that's the only way that he could get me to show up, because they always do stuff like this, specifically Atlantic Records.
Essentially, the record was given to Pitbull without Money Long's knowledge. Pitbull, who has a close working relationship with Kesha, brought her on board to perform the song. Kesha ended up singing the lyrics that Money Long had written. And Money Long only found out about this when she was asked to re-record a specific part of the song as background vocals. This request came because Kesha was unable to hit certain notes that Money Long had originally written and sung. Long story short, Money Long never received the upfront fee she was owed for her work on Timber, which is undeniably unethical. However, as she's credited as a songwriter on the track, which has over 1.6 billion streams on Spotify, it's likely she's received royalties from its success. That said, Priscilla hinted that her business arrangements at the time weren't handled properly, suggesting that she may not have been fully compensated in terms of royalties either. Now that's my interpretation of her comments. If we're sticking strictly to facts, however, you can disregard that speculation. First, let's address the initial part of the story involving Atlantic Records asking Money Long to write a song.
Very much off topic, but you know how Priscilla Renee is her actual name. That was also her name that she started out making music with, like as like a pop star. And it's her real name. And she only changed to Money Long, you know, within like the last, I'll say 5 to 8 years, right? I wonder how long it took for her to really adapt the name and respond when people call her that. Like, you know how, you know, it'll be like, you know, my name is Brianna. And it's like, as much as I would love to like ignore or something like that, if I hear my name being called, I'll look. Unless I truly don't like, unless I truly just recognize my name being called and the person who's, and I don't want to answer it. But sometimes if, you know, you go out with friends and it's like, oh, okay, we all have fake names. And it's like, Melanie, 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 oh, that is my name. Oh, yes, I heard you. Well, no, I didn't hear you. And it's like, that's because it hasn't taken to me yet. I wonder how long it took for her to like adapt the name. And then I wonder, does she still let people call her Priscilla in a more personal setting? I don't want to say like obviously with like family or whatever, but like, you know what I mean? Like friends who I've known forever in the industry, but we're industry friends, but it's still like I don't know. I'll be wondering. Or you should call it like P. What's up, P? I don't know. I'm gonna have to explore. Maybe. I don't know. Random.
Song for a non-black artist. A soulful song. According to Money, they specifically requested a soulful song for this non-melanated artist, which became the focal point of her frustration and subsequent public statement. For those unfamiliar, Money Long has an extensive track record as a songwriter in the music industry. She's contributed to some of the biggest records of the past decade. In addition to her work on Timber, she wrote California.
All right, sorry about that, guys. It's a new day, outfit change. My camera ran out of room and I've been trying to get some stuff off of that as well as my computer to finish the video. So let's go ahead and just get back into where we left off.
She's contributed to some of the biggest records of the past decade. In addition to her work on Timber, she wrote California King Bed for Rihanna's 2010 album, Loud. She also wrote songs for Mariah Carey, Fifth Harmony, Chris Brown, and many more. Her ability to create hits is undeniable, making her experiences and insight into the industry even more significant. Songwriters along with engineers are some of the most underappreciated, and
I feel like Money Long is very much the kind of person. She's one of those people who is like, you're not going to see them again. Like, she's one of those old school people where it's kind of like, you know, you don't have talent like that anymore. We don't have a lot of hit makers where it's like anything, you know how like everything the light touches turns to gold. That's kind of like her. She can make songs about anything. I've heard her comment about how even her songs, she can just honestly look at a thing and then make a song about it. Like California King Bed, she was trying to look for her own bed and she was like, and it was like, okay, make a song. Let's talk about this California King Bed that she really wants. So looking forward to more stuff about her.
And disrespected people in the music industry. Not only are they undervalued, but they're also often underpaid, or in many cases, not paid at all, which is truly very sad. For those who may not know, songwriting in the music industry is often a waiting game. You might write a song today and not see a paycheck until a year or even 2 years later.
And then the money part, because like a lot of people be like, you know, songwriting, you make so much money. You gotta understand there is a pipeline. So I might write a song today and I won't see $1 for 2 years.
Sheesh.
So what job do you know that you work on spec like that for that long? Imagine going to work and you don't get your first check 2 years after your first day. That's crazy. You gotta have a certain level of cray-cray to get up and keep doing that. Honestly, like the stuff that I went through as a songwriter, and I'm on the high side of the spectrum where I'm getting cuts. I have people who know my track record and I'm still getting murderized.
Right.
You know,
I've heard plenty of.
Has Complex been doing that blue background for a long time? I honestly don't know. I'm just wondering because there's another person who uses the blue black background pretty much exclusively and interviews most of the songstresses and actual singers. So I wonder if that was a choice.
Plenty of stories about songwriters creating massive hit records and not receiving a single cent, even on the royalty side. It's honestly shocking how little the music industry values and protects its songwriters. The issue isn't new, however, and many artists have spoken out about this over the years. One that comes to mind is British singer Ray, who's been very vocal about the mistreatment of songwriters in the industry.
British record music industry, please. I just want to have a lovely, brief conversation about normalizing giving songwriters master royalty points. It can be net costs, okay? You don't have to, it doesn't have to be at your expense, but it just means that if the songs win big, the writers get to win big too. Please allow that to happen, please, please.
Now that's the unfortunate reality for songwriters in the music industry. For many of the hits you hear, there's a high chance, about 90%, that the people who wrote them weren't fairly compensated, and in some cases weren't compensated at all. In Money Long's case, she did something truly impactful by speaking about this issue. What's even more significant is that I've rarely ever seen male rappers or male artists in general, especially black ones, address this topic publicly, and we're gonna dive into why that's particularly relevant. Money Long's songwriting abilities are incredibly versatile. She can write everything from country to pop to hip-hop inspired tracks, though her main focus is R&B and pop. This diverse skill set is why the music industry approached her for this specific situation. Essentially, they wanted this non-melanated artist, likely a white artist as that would align with the context, to enter a traditionally black musical space with the help of Money's pen game. The problem here is that this artist clearly lacks and lacked the soul and authenticity needed to genuinely represent.
Honestly, what was weird about this song, mind you, I said I love this song and I still do, is that, mind you, I love Kesha, but also like, is Kesha like a singer like that? No. And she also wasn't making country music. And even though this was like a pop country, it was still a country song. I just didn't understand why they had her on the song. Like, it really kind of was weird to me. Like, what was this for? Odd choice.
the genre. That's where songwriters like Money come into play. The industry wanted to use her talent to help this artist infiltrate black music and culture, but Money refused, saying, "I'm not doing that shit, and I respect her 1000% for standing her ground." The issue isn't just that they're asking her to write a song, it's that they're asking her to create a soulful record which carries a deeper emotional weight. The underlying premise is clear. The incentive for her lies in the substantial financial gain, with the promise of significant profit being the primary benefit. On the other hand, Money clearly understands their intention. It's to capitalize on her talent and authenticity to create a record that resonates deeply with listeners, ultimately generating significant revenue and elevating their brand. And ultimately, they wanted to do that through a black art form. And Money, she's not stupid, she's a smart woman. She knows that they see her as a vessel to craft something raw and meaningful. For her, the challenge isn't just about delivering a soulful record, it's about maintaining her artistic integrity while navigating the transactional nature of that record.
And I feel like because a lot of people don't have integrity in their own personal lives as a part of their character in their work and stuff that they do, that it's confusing to them for people who do have integrity to try to stick by it. They be like, but why? And it's like they can't understand why a person has integrity about their own work or their, about their stuff. So I'm not surprised.
Request. This is actually one of the bigger issues with hip hop today that's not very talked about. If you didn't know, a lot of black male rappers are ghostwriting for non-melanated rappers simply because they're being handed a check. For example, I heard about a specific non-melanated up-and-coming rapper whose biggest hit was actually written by a black male rapper. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because that same black rapper also owns a piece of equity in this guy's career because he acted as a private investor. He reportedly fronted him hundreds of thousands of dollars to kickstart his career. I can't go into, too much detail about the situation because it's not public knowledge yet, and someone told me this information in confidence. But it highlights a growing dynamic in the industry where
I feel like he's talking about Jack Harlow, and I feel like that sucks. I feel like I hear a lot of stuff about Jack Harlow that makes me just be like, dang, that sucks. I'm also not surprised because I like Jack Harlow. Like, I like some of his stuff. I've seen the videos of him when he was a kid rapping and all that kind of stuff, and I can kind of see that he still sounds like him but has also improved. Like I said, I don't know if he's talking about him. He could not be, but also I hear a lot about that. And if it came out that it was him, I also wouldn't be surprised. That's all I'm saying.
financial leverage, and artistic contribution intersect in ways that aren't always transparent to fans. This dynamic is actually quite common. There are so many rappers who will do anything for the bag. What's ironic is how a lot of hip-hop fans are quick to blame women for supposedly ruining the genre, yet it's often men who are ghostwriting many of these records for female artists.
First of all, men ruin everything. Men ruin everything and then try to put it on somebody else, usually women. Same way, that's a whole nother topic.
Particularly those with lighter skin tones. And it doesn't stop there. These same rappers are doing the same exact thing for non-black artists in the genre, contributing to the very shifts they sometimes criticize.
And then have the nerve to get mad about it years later when they see the impact that one thing that they did produced. Oh, so we need to do this and da. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think because we didn't talk about it out loud that we didn't know that it was you who were doing this, or you were also contributing to this? Please shut up. Respectfully.
Record labels are clearly focused on crafting a marketable image for the artist they're trying to sell, and that image has to align with the music. If a rapper claims to be from the projects and boasts about playing with guns as a kid, they're expected to rap about that lifestyle. But when they don't actually come from that background, it creates a gap that needs to be filled. And that's where a black man who generally comes from that environment is brought in. He's handed a large sum of money to quietly write and produce these songs, staying behind the scenes while the image of the other artist is amplified. This practice is one of the many reasons why the essence of hip-hop has become so diluted. The raw authenticity that once defined the genre is often replaced with manufactured narratives. And
then they try to use the excuse of, oh, well, there's black artists who don't rap about what they're rapping about. Like, that's not the life they live. You know, Plies, that wasn't even him. That was actually his brother. And this person wasn't him. That was him. I feel like that's a conversation, and that is a point, but I feel like to use that as a major point isn't really fair. Because just because, like, for instance, with Kendrick Lamar, he has a song, I'm not that into his music enough to know like exactly what song, what album it is, but he has songs where he talks about, you know, I was never in the gang life. That was not my life. However, I am from Compton. I know people who I've grown up with who became this. I have people in my family. I have people who I know closely that are into this. Just because I wasn't in it doesn't mean I wasn't like around it in that culture. I didn't participate, but I also have enough firsthand experience, firsthand knowledge to be able to speak about this in this way. But he also admits that that wasn't my life. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it is a point, but it's also not a major or strong enough point to like base your whole argument off of.
Reducing its cultural significance to a mere commodity. It's literally the same thing Tyler the Creator was talking about. You know how the music industry has shifted. Things have become very transactional, with authenticity taking a backseat to marketability. The essence of hip-hop, once rooted in real stories and genuine expression, is often overshadowed by curated personas and profit-driven agendas. I really appreciate that there's still some artists out here who stick to their morals. They're not out here selling themselves out or a black art form just to fatten their bank accounts. Now, I'm not saying that she's never done it. I don't really know her entire life story like that. But what I do know is if she had, chances are she wouldn't be speaking out about it now. Because the way the music industry works is it's a very grimy business. They'll have you go against your morals and values, and they'll make sure they got that on record, okay, on wax. And then the second you try to stand up for yourself or call out the system, they'll remind you of what you did and use it to keep you quiet as leverage. That's why a lot of people just stay silent. They're too afraid of the dirt that could get aired out if they speak out. So if you know that you're the type of person who's going to regret going against your morals later, don't do it. It's not worth it. Protect your morals and values, because the music industry will weaponize your own choices against you when it suits them. Anyway, if you made it this far, I appreciate you so much for watching. Drop a like on this video because
All right, guys. So, sorry, it's my microphone. What did we think? I feel like, yes, as you saw, I agree with him a lot of what he said as far as his opinions. I feel like some of mine also I agree with. I think Money Long is one of those people who you cannot play with, and she will let you know, don't play with me. Like, because try it if you want to. I don't need you, you need me. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't realize. Like, you think you can get rid of me, you think you can, you know, switch my talent for like AI, for this, for that, you somebody else. They don't have my sauce. They don't have my sauce. They don't have my specialness that makes it this. I saw her on a podcast recently. I don't know 100% if it was that R&B Money podcast. I don't know if it was that one, but she was talking about how she was asked to perform at one of the BET Awards shows. I think it was either the BET Awards or something else. They wanted her to perform a song that she didn't want to. And she basically was like, well, no, I don't want to. And they were trying to say, oh, well, you know, you have to do this because it's not in the market. It's not popular. It's not this, not that. And she's like, well, I know that's not true because I was able to do this over here. And it's not a popular song, but it also is one of their best songs. Everything that she puts out, you know, does great. And especially certain songs like that song. She had one song that she performed at the Soul Train Awards. And she was singing it outside in the freezing cold. It escapes me. But that song actually kind of took off after the live performance of the song. So even with that song that they were trying, a song that she wanted to sing that they were trying to get her not to, probably could have blown up if she had performed it. Because mind you, all her songs are hits. It's just, have you heard them yet? So yeah, tell me what you guys think about this video. Tell me what you guys would like to see in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend and tell an enemy. And follow me on my social media platforms. Do all that below. I am very positive that is it. So, all right, guys, bye.
Look back while I turn. No comparison.
I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty, yeah. Acting stupid. What was happening? What was happening?